Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia, and today we're starting a Reigns 3 Kingdoms Let's Play, where we will start from the very beginning of the game and advance to the very end for at least one full playthrough. Obviously this game involves reincarnation, and you could actually do multiple runs from the very beginning of Yellow Turban Rebellion to about the year 250, so across the breadth of the Three Kingdoms story, and we'll be experiencing at least one full run here. And for each episode, I think I'll do at least 2 lives, as the game is designed to kill you, and for you to go back in and kind of pick up from your previous life. And for much of the choices, we're not going to take the optimum route. We'll try to explore some of the storyline. We don't really need settings. Essentially, we're in a simulation going back in time. Yeah, we're good with our settings. And for those who are not familiar with the game, this was a mobile game that's ported to the PC, which is where I'm playing it. And it's sort of a UI designed for mobile. And this is going to explain why we can kind of reincarnate back into the Three Kingdoms period. And we remember. And we're jumping into the past. All the way back to 183. Cathedral, the place where the Yellow Turban Rebellion will start. Did we hit our head? No. And we're getting introduced to the 4 elements that we have to balance, first of which is supplies, and we can actually just decline a little. Going over or going all the way to 0 will kill you. And the second thing is people. We'll ask about where are the nobilities. And we're just basically dropping them a little bit. The military does nothing. We'll diss them too. And here comes virtue and morality. Alright, we'll pretend we don't know anything and we'll keep everything a bit low. But the symbol for it is a hu, which is a flat baton representing moral, but it started out as sort of this note-keeping device that officials used at court. You hold it in front of you and you can write stuff on it. Now we'll regain some. Keeping things in equilibrium is how we stay alive. Any of the 4 go over the maximum or under the minimum, we die. And here we have Mr. Mirage Mirror, which is a character from Romance and his story. He's a hermit scholar. We know where we are. So he's going to be our mentor. He's a reflection of reality. We'll keep it balanced in the middle. We need to grow in power and claim the 13 regions, or the 13 provinces, which is how the Han Empire was divided during this period. Die well, because we'll die many, many times. I think they just rebalanced to 50% there. When the moon is full, it wanes. When the water is full, it overflows. Everything has to be within its means. Sort of Taoist teaching, but also how the game functions. And he disappeared. We're surrounded by people. What's that in your hand? At our tracker? Nothing. We're reading something. It's private. I just want a bag of gold, play a game with that man over there. Why don't you have a go? Alright, we have a stranger. Which shell the stone is under once I mix them around. Classic. Also, we're just gonna guess. I guess we're losing supply either way. Look at my new mahogany carriage. Sure, it cost me a lot, but it'll impress my neighbors. Want to come for a ride? Should we go with this? I feel like merchant will be people. We play drop people, play increase virtue. We keep things balanced. But we're giving up on a storyline, I think. Oh, going back to the shell game. He drops a stone to his sleeve before moving the shell. We know it's a scam. How clever. My neighbor's cousin's remarrying after her husband was killed in battle 10 years ago. What a scandal. Yeah, this is a misconception during this period. Widow remarriage is very common. There's government policies that would actually take widows from different provinces, move them to Twin Ten Farms to marry single men so that you can have more workforce and more men for the future. Good for her. Yeah, good for her. Former emperor with the ancestral shrine in every town across the emperor. Meanwhile, people starve. Why would a scholar be bringing this up? And who's this A former emperor? We're just trying to balance it. Our general in love? Alright, go on. Stay with my love or leave her for my lover. Follow your passion. You can't love both. If you love the first one, there wouldn't be a second one. Since Confucius' time, scholars have been held with great respect, as they should be. Well, technically not true. Even during Confucius' time, scholars wasn't held with great respect and struggled to be the mainstream thought process until into the Western Han Dynasty. By this time period, yes. But we'll balance it back. Who do we support? Haha. We experimented with the Empire. Let's try to side with the Turbans and see if we pick up the John Brothers or any of the Yellow Turban character into the cards to fight with. Stole his supplies. Alright, we're going to be fighting soldiers with ourselves, which is a sort of a stacking damage card. And we're drafting the likes of a villager. If it gets removed, it heals. Common card with no ability. Common card with no ability, but a lot of health. This just has high damage, and I think we can rotate so that we can attack first. Our first move can do at least 5 damage, or maybe 3, and then do a stacking thing. Yes, they have a attack, they have a health, and additional abilities will be labeled. Right, so he has 5 health. I want to know, yeah, no abilities, no abilities. He shoots everyone. The goal is to kill the supply here, and we rotate to attack. Oh, they're teaching us the game, right? Okay. I mean, it's a mobile game, so the rotating is pretty natural. With the mouth, it's a little bit funky sometimes. And the coin on the right dictates how many moves we have. They will get 3 coin on their turn. We have starting advantage, but starting advantage means we only get 2 moves. So we're gonna bring our tank back. Their supply is vulnerable because there's no one guarding it. They might try to revive him. You need to move onto a blank tile twice. I guess there's no revive yet. Alright, another 5 health. I think we'll use the same strategy, except for we have an extra move. We don't have to rush. We could do 3 damage to that, but it doesn't kill. So we'll just bring ourselves up. At most, we take 4 damage. Oh, he's decided to just rotate randomly. Okay, we only take 2. And he dies. Can't do anything about it. We kill the supply next turn and it's over. Pretty clean fight. Alright, thank you for your help. We gained a lot of people. Alright, they're headed to the North Gate to join the rebels. Our choices are limited. They promised us food. I want to lower the people. Picked up a farmer. What's the other card? Astrologer. No special ability, less health, 3 damage. I like the 8 health. We have someone similar, but the higher health is good. Okay, a widow who got ransacked. Maybe this will drop it. There we go. Alright, sandal for sale. Ryobe is here again. We'll buy a pair to talk to him. He's the man with the big earlobes, signaling he has good fortune in his future. You can see the big drippy earlobes. I think both of these kind of diss him. Oh, but that actually increased. We should just diss him hard. Oh, it's because his forefather lost the nobility title. Nothing to... I mean, I can't risk raising the people higher, but we might lose the obey here. Oh well. Some peasants ate the sacrifice I put in for my ancestor in the temple. Okay, this definitely lowers that. I think this will lower people, because the people are the peasants. Yeah, there we go. How does our village compare to the faraway place we come from? Wow. The truth is gonna hurt. Look at you, money bag. Time to buy a new horse carriage? Sure. Created a herb drink that can cure all disease. Help me sell my miracle elixir. Another scam. Sounds good. And we actually lower people. There we go. A horse carriage. Puff, who do you think you are, lord? Yeah, this is sort of the status, right? Certain class of people are allowed certain things, and that's seen as norm. Just because you have money doesn't mean you can get those things. That's kind of like stepping out of line. Like, most of the princes have a lot of money, but they can't buy stuff that's supposed to be used only for emperors. If they do that, that's treason. Alright, we're just trying to lower everything down. Hide a gold bracelet. Sure. Alright, balance it out a little bit more. Is it a cure-all? It's a cure-all. We gotta watch out for the supplies, though. Is killing 100 people a bigger crime than killing just one? Not necessary. Okay, so let's give it back so we don't hold on to so much supply. Okay, this is our chance to try out the yellow turbans. The commander, if it survives the first attack, it becomes a 2/6. So it kind of absorbs the first hit unless he gets hit for 4 or higher, and then becomes a 2/6 unit. It's a pretty useful card. Let's pick the one with ability. So essentially, let's say it tanks 3 on the first attack. It can technically tank 9 damage on the first turn and still hit back for 2. Pretty good card. Oh, the elixir. You're not doing it right. I mean, that's how Yellow Turban as a religion worked, right? You had Taoist elixirs are essentially they write a scroll and then they burn the scroll and the ash falls into this water and you drink it. It's like a holy water. And if you're a believer, it heals you. And it got to the point where they had so many believers that were desperate that they mass produced these basically scrolls that they wrote. They burned it into this big pot or big urn of water, and then everyone gets a little bowl, and you scoop a little bit from the big shared holy water pot, and everyone took a drink. They had massive followings. People are just very desperate. You can see the destitute in the background. It's not very green. It's a drought period. 3 times a day for a month. Alright, come back and deal with us in a month. Alright, did we follow because of the teachings of Master Zhang Jiao? Yeah, who is Master Zhang Jiao? Yeah, he is our leader. And from our previous playthrough, for those who have seen it, Zhang Jiao is also a time traveler like us. He can summon... I'm going to try to lower it. A child said he saw you reading. Will you help us with directions to the new rebel base? You can't read? Alright, new event. Find the camp. 360 days. Alright, so the days per card, basically. Someone carved the direction into the boulders. Let's take a look. Go north of town, cross bridge behind barn. Continue 10 meters along river to the east. Finally turn onto a narrow path. Do we have to remember this? Go north, cross the bridge behind barn, and continue 10 meters to the east on the river, and then turn onto a narrow path. Let's see if we can remember that. We go north. And we meet, I guess this is Zhou by the art. Slaughter a few of the goats. Let's do not our goats, because we have so much supply and very little virtue. Ah, so we do pick him up by saying no. Great. He's the fictional sword bearer for Guan Yu. Did not exist, historically speaking. It's an honor. When attack, switch health for strength. Can be very interesting, actually, with him, but a bit uncontrollable. But we prefer cards with some sort of special ability versus not. Now we go to the bridge, onto the river. Yes. Not the forest, but the river. Go east for 10... I mean, I'm assuming we're facing north. Then east would be going to the right. But... see, here's where logic is... you know, modern day concept is the map points north. But the Chinese cardinal direction actually points south. We'll still use the right. Should be right. Oh, there's not meters, it's miles. I didn't know China used miles anywhere in the world. Actually, you know, normal people don't use miles. Despite me living in the US right now. We crossed the bridge. How much farther? 5 more. Right, 5 more for 10 total. And we found the camp. Okay, it wasn't that bad. And let's go, heck yeah. Porridge is served. That is typical food. Or they take millets and they can steam it. It's kind of like rice, but it's like little grains, right? Millets are small yellow grains. And we are sleeping. Let's grumble. Keep it down. We don't want it too crazy. Stay in the middle is good. Surprise assault at dawn. Can we lead attack to tackle the left flank? Of course, we love fighting. Alright, Jotan's going to be here with us for sure. And we can just draft 2 from the remaining cards. If we want to build ourselves up, we can do like a 1 damage, and then Jotan comes to the front. Do 3, we do 5. No, we do... We have the option to do 5 and end on Jotan, or we have the option to do 4 and kind of end on Jotan as well, but I get to build on my attack. Sure. Oh, we're fighting the Han forces this time. Officer, once removed, he heals neighboring allies. Ludra, the leader of the Han forces. General gets a large shield when it's at the front that blocks 2 damage. Common cards, no special. Okay, so they have a lot of health. And if they do a round of attack with 3 turns, they can do 7 damage. Jotan can tank... Ooh. Well, Jotan's going to hit with a 3. So it becomes a 3-4, but it gets flipped, so it becomes a 4-3. And then someone else hits him for 2. So it becomes a 4-1, but flips to 1-4, and then takes another 2. So it becomes a 2-1 at the end. He's not really that well designed to tank a lot of damage. We might save him. We might do this, and just let the old man here tank our first round of 7 damage. That way we can get Jotan with the explosive damage. Alright, Ludra can die here, actually. And then... I don't want to go up because I'll get killed. I guess he will have to die. Can you actually heal him a little after he dies? Ooh, don't put the shield guy in the front. Ah. Okay, so he's gonna have a 2 shield. I guess we just pop that and then we kill him. We can't kill him. That's fine. We let him die. Unless they choose to heal. Right, he can revive after 2 moves. They could just revive him here. Ooh, they don't go for the revive. Interesting. And they don't go for a kill on us. Alright, we're strong enough now that I think Jotan can lead it back into the front. Because we can come back and just kill them. Supply destroyed. You don't have to kill everyone, just go for the supply. Saw you fighting fearlessly in the battle. I'm promoting you to a commander. We're doing quite well with the Yellow Turban Rebels. And Master Zhang Jiao. We'll meet again. Farewell. Wait! Alright, he's gone. We get ourselves a no... Why? Can we not get this? Can I cancel? Oh, we can. Okay, I don't want to take up a card slot. It's not good. My back is feeling better. Recommend the elixir to my friend. So it actually worked? Let's not sell anymore. We're so full on supplies. Master Zhang Jiao has magic abilities. He recommends a herb drink for my sickness of my sick grandmother last year. And guess what? Well, the thing is, not everyone dies from plagues. There's going to be a certain amount of people that live, right? So if you drink this holy water and you live, you think the holy water is what healed you, right? So the survivors think, you know, you're like a miracle worker. 2 hours later, my grandmother sits up in her deathbed and tells us her neighbor still owes her money. That's not possible. Let's lower it a little bit. Want to bet who wins? Yeah, let's use up some supplies in a bet. The old but angry farmer or the weak... So I think we did this before, and I think the farmer wins. So I want to take the losing side. Go for the merchant. Okay, so he wins, right? We don't actually pick up any more supply. Decode the magic trick. Zhang Jiao can summon millions of soldiers with a single spell. We had to figure out how. What did you see? When he cast the spell, millions of soldiers, or solders, spelling error maybe? Charged from a puff of black smoke. The enemy were buried immediately. Ooh, that is dipping. There was thunder, but no lightning or rain. Alright, so we know what it is. It's gunpowder. It has not been invented yet. The 4 discoveries, Chinese discoveries, that's well known. Gunpowder, compass, we have movable print, and paper. Most of them have appeared in some form by this period, but they have not been perfected. And they don't really get perfected until like the Song Dynasty, especially with gunpowder in the case of using it for war. All right, we have finished that event. Our neighbors, right? We did decode it. Completed. My neighbor's plum tree obstructs the view from my house. I give you a handsome reward if you burn it down. We don't want the reward, right? Because that's more supplies. Huh, both will increase our supplies, but this one increase our virtue as well. Alright, we look different. If you want to blend in, you better dress and talk like us. We will change. We'll try to keep it neutral. And that's sort of a culture acceptance thing. It's a nice way to balance those. My mother forced me to read as a child. When I left home, I vowed I'll never touch a book again. I mean, you count yourself lucky. We kind of want both of these to go up, but it's impossible. My grandson is so scared of geese, he won't leave the house. I'm too ashamed to help him. Wait, which one increases people here? I guess support him? How'd you know the gunpowder? How do you know? Haha, he's also part of the simulation. Alright, share some tips. The essential art of peace. And talked about how this kind of mimics the typing Jing that he got, which is Art of Supreme Peace. Sounds legit. Alright, we have new functions added. And he leaves again. Alright, we can track certain things. We haven't found a single thing yet. Noblemen have no command of their horses. Their carriage always get into the way. I'm trying to decrease supply. There we go. Pick the right one. The absence of action is considered the highest virtue in Taoism. Don't confound it with laziness. Yes. Ooh, wait. That's a concept. Don't interfere. I think that's the better way to translate this. There's a natural course of nature, which is how Taoism is based on. The word Dao or Tao means the way, like the way the nature functions. Let him explain. Do nothing does not mean staying idle, but following the order of nature. And nature is everything. 道有, it's the beginning of 道德经, the base text of Taoism. Does this increase virtue? I would imagine this would be more Confucian thing. Let's convert. We're already part of the Yellow Turban. Let's have some fun. Alright, we converted to Taoism. I started reading books again. I like the one where the man hides the bathing woman's clothes, so she's forced to marry him. That increased virtue, I guess because we dissed him, but, I imagine it'd be like, you filthy dog, What's the best way to tell if animal needs water? You pinch it. And we boosted back our people. I want to buy some eel. It tastes delicious with fermented black bean sauce. Now I'm trying to think if fermented black bean sauce is around yet, right? 豆豉. It's a pretty common food. Not sure. I think it is around because I remember it is a pretty common seasoning for just the plain millet rice. I don't want to increase supply anymore, but for purchasing, do we lose or gain supply here? Okay, we bought it with our supply. Yes, that's the whole point of Taoism, right? I'm making a potion using 81 different kinds of herbs. I'm just missing one ingredient. Well, okay, it's not the whole point of Taoism, but when Taoism was presented, right, a lot of these ideologies, like the height of Chinese philosophy, came during the Warring State period. And it was the case because all these small kingdoms that you had wanted to get strong, wanted to know how to rule, wanted to know how to win wars. So you had these traveling scholars and philosophers who came up with their ideas, and they tried to sell it to these kings to support them and to make themselves, sort of the dominant thought of the period. And Confucianism was one of the thoughts. It wasn't very appreciated during the period because trying to rule with benevolence doesn't really help you with conquests in a very chaotic time. Whereas things like legalism, which is what the Qin dynasty eventually, but the kingdom of Qin kind of picked up throughout its course of history. Obviously, it's a very long history. It's not what they started with, but they kind of changed their laws towards more legalism, and it made them really strong. And there's things like Moism, there's things like Taoism, even the school of war. Art of War was written as a text in a very similar manner to kind of bring war as a philosophy, as an art, how to fight wars. Because in the early periods of the Zhou dynasty, war was very feudalistic, where noble houses fought these wars like sport. There were rules. So imagine if you have a basketball game, right? There are things that are fouls in the game. There's a structure to it. And that's how wars were fought. You fought the war, and let's say your side won, all the old people that you captured, you have to release them. Because that was part of the rule. You don't kill the old, you don't kill the young. And if they gave up their weapons in the battle, you don't kill them. Because it was just a sport for noble houses. It settled disputes. But with the art of war, war became a matter of survival for the state. Now, it didn't start it, but it spread it. So there were obviously side who were seen as less honorable and didn't follow these rules. And after the art of war, war was redefined as sort of a mechanic that is vital to the survival of a state and should be treated with, cunning, with espionage, with using every element that you have to win. It's a very strict sort of institution within your country, your military. And that revolutionized how people thought about war, and things got a lot more bloodier, but it gave rise eventually to a unified kingdom after the warring state ended. What are we missing? What are we missing? Catnip? No, I need a cup of dew that comes from the orchid blossom produced only on the day of solstice. So let's find an excuse to drop people a little. The length of the funeral procession I just saw, how can Confucian follower justify such extravagance at the time of war? Yeah, the scholar popping up giving all these questions that are easily answered by Confucianism. So funerals were a grand deal because it showed filial piety, which is a building block, a very key central building block, fundamental building block for Confucianism, is the structure of society, the relation between any two people, and the base relationship is that between you and your family, right? Your parents in this case. And filial piety is how good you treat your parents. A lot of that is in the form of respect. And things like having a grand funeral, things like tomb guarding for 3 years have basis. You know, the argument that some of the Confucian student gave to Confucius was, why should you tomb guard for 3 years for your parents? And Confucians basically explained this like, when you're born, you can't do anything to survive. And your parents, you know, had to hug you, hold you, feed you, at least for the first 3 years of your life. So when they die, you owe it to them to give back 3 years to spend guarding their tomb. And culturally speaking, Chinese people believe in afterlife. So you're buried with possessions. Whatever you used when you were alive, you're buried with them. Because after you die, you still need to go use them in the afterlife. So the idea of having these sort of rich funerals where you have lots of burial vessels, if you've seen some of the tombs, essentially they're building houses, right? It's mimicking what you had in actual life, but you bury it underground to sort of protect it, and your future descendants come worship you to kind of remember you, basically. What are we trying to build up and lower here? I guess we can do this. I'm patrolling the fields at night as cattle keep getting killed. What if a tiger appear? Now, tiger is actually super common in ancient times. Nowadays, just way too many humans, and you know, they get chased out. I fear this might bump up people. You're left-handed. People won't like sitting next to you at meals. Your chopstick will get in their way. We can change. But we can drop people, nothing I can do. And he has died. Did he, you know, increase one of the bar too high? How? Fell asleep and never woke up. You can't shake a nervous feeling in your stomach. So we know he's a tester. Historically speaking, he died in a siege to illness. I think less than a year after the rebellion started. And there goes, you know, the credibility that he's the great healer. If he can then heal himself. And we're given the essential art of peace. We have become the leader of the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Alright, let's raise the banners. But we can't camp for the rest of our life. To war! Right, to war it is. Alright, what's our plan? Establish a base? Okay. Let's take the nearby towns from the Han for the greater good. We're not raiders. Yeah, this is better for balancing, I think. I would imagine taking... Oh, I guess people would be the guys in town. You think I'll obey your orders because you got a book? What's it called? The Essential Art of Piss? Ah ha ha ha. Alright, stop smiling. Here comes Cao Cao. Now, Cao Cao didn't actually come up to the Ji province, or Jizhou. Cao Cao is a cavalry commander of the Han Empire. He was indeed. I heard he's an adopted grandson of Eunuch. That is also very true. Alright, he's the enemy of the people. We can diss him based on his grandfather, who is a very corrupt eunuch and enabled Cao Cao's father to become very wealthy. Don't be on the wrong side of history. Surrender the Yellow Turbans to the Han Empire and bring peace to the people. Liu Bei is coming in here. Yeah, haven't we met before? Alright, let's drop it down a little. We are a woman? Let's get married. I mean, Taoism doesn't care. It's not like Buddhist monk. You have to be... technically, you could be a female monk. Nigu? That's what they are. Yeah. If you dream of becoming a butterfly, 梦蝶. Yeah, that's a classic story. It's the idea of inception almost existed very, very ancient. Right? If you dream of becoming a butterfly, at that moment, are you yourself or are you a butterfly who thinks you're a person that's dreaming that it's a butterfly? Like you can kind of wrap that around multiple times. Yeah, all things are connected. The drought ruined my fields. Me and my family have nothing left. Will we spare them? Yeah, let's drop some supplies, but we'll increase the people. Alright, we'll try to lower this later. I've been interpreting the skies for so long, I think I'm entitled to take a few creative liberties. Alright, let me help. The 8 shooting stars I just saw. A bad omen. Let's drop it a little. Yu Zi. He's a humble stock, but he's good at working the land and has the arms to prove it. Alright, let's drop it down a little. Maybe we can get someone better. You can recruit more soldiers if you share our grains with the peasants. Would that mean we recruit peasants? And why is it empty? Why does it have such a big impact on the virtue meter? And the owner. Oh, they are going to ignore me, huh? So basically, we're still going to be in Dizhou, and that's still going to be our base. Reduce the army. We're now my lady. Shouldn't this lower the people if we're like nobility? Okay, good. The Honorable Mr. Wei. Heard of a man in the Yan province, Yanzhou, that's called the Honorable Mr. Wei. Supposedly he's a careless of wealth, but careful of virtue. So this person's going to end up being Wei Hong, who is also ahistorical. He exists in romance novels, which is actually kind of curious, because he's mastered after a real person whose name was Wei Zi, the first person to fund Cao Cao's army, but they changed it in the novel and created this character called Wei Hong. I think the reason is more or less because the location of the person changed. They didn't have Cao Cao go home, ask his dad for money, and get rejected, which is what happened historically, as his dad then take all their family wealth, as well as Cao Cao's brothers, and kind of retired to the princedom of Langya instead of funding Cao Cao's rebel army. So Cao Cao desperately needed funding, and a local from Cao Cao's hometown named Wei Zi is the one who came out and funded him, but that didn't happen in the Yan province, so that's why I think they switched it in the novel and kind of created this fictional character modeled after him. Alright, let's go have contact, and let's go. Use some supplies to travel to a new province. Okay, that's fine. As our power grows, we have greater responsibility to our people. Let's balance those. I'm making a ceramic with a special clay from Jiangdong, from the south. It's called porcelain, and it is beautiful. Expand the business. We'll lead to an event. We'll do it, even though we're kind of poor on supplies. Alright, draft 1 for every 3 men in the house. That's pretty standard. Let's do it. Are we talking about... Wait, I don't want virtue to go up anymore. Just testing us. Yeah, go away. Alright, I didn't sleep a wink last night. Mountain imps kept running over my roof. A drought must be coming. This should boost people. I was sold some fowls and they grew up into mules. Alright, at least we're balancing things. Moten flowers are key to any woman's heart. Sure. We're not quite that south yet, but there are mosquitoes in this area. It's not unique. That's an earthly matter. I'm just wondering what happened to the virtue bar with that. Ooh, that increased virtue? I thought I was going to drop it. Counterfeit coins. Yeah, not a thing. I mean, the idea of it not being a thing works like this, right? Copper is not a free and abundant resource. If you somehow have access to a copper source, whether you have a mine somehow, like you have influence where you can get mine, if you have hard currency, right? That's how you should think about it. If you have hard currency, the coin only represent the value of the weight of the copper, right? It's called 五铢钱. That's what's called back during the Han Dynasty. And it's a weight measurement. So if you produce a coin that's a counterfeit coin, what are you counterfeiting? The weight? If you're counterfeiting the weight, people can feel it, right? You hold up a coin, you lift it in your hand, it's not the right weight. They would know, right? If you're counterfeiting the metal, they would also know it, right? Because you have to find something that's so close to it, and you still have to mint it, right? You still have to press it into a coin. Like, why go through that trouble? If you have the copper, you wouldn't even bother minting coins. You would just trade the copper by weight, save you the minting costs, and you get value. Like, the concept of counterfeit money for us is because we use like paper bills that has no intrinsic value. Like, imagine if we're all spending gold coins and you suddenly discover a gold mine. The only thing the government can do is like seize control of your access to the mine, because they can be like, you know, gold is precious, gold is government controlled, you can't have gold. That's something they can do. But if you have access to gold and they don't control that, then like, how do you counterfeit that, right? If you're making like fake gold, like pyrite, that's something else. But we're not really talking about that right now. All right, we're meeting Wei Hong, but our bars are all very high. Let's see if he'll fund us an army, because that's what he did for Cao Cao. We don't want to tip anything over. Personally, I'm more of a dog person. Wow. I'm worried about the military side of things, as well as the virtue side. Yep, that's not good. And we get killed. The moment it goes up over... I mean, I think we're dead either way. The dog question will probably push us over here. And this is how we die. One of our not so virtuous followers punch us in the mouth and we die. So each of the bars, there's probably like at least 8 ways to die by default, depending on which bar goes overflow. And that's our first run. Huangmengji probably. It depends. You never know. We lasted for 730 days, 2 years. Not a bad run, to be honest. We won a battle. became a yellow turban. We took control of the Z province. And that's a huge chunk. So we're going to reincarnate now as another character, and we'll continue from this point. We'll do 2 lives every episode, I think. We just died. Crystal clear. And then we're going back in. Extra data. Where's the money? Alright, everything's reset to equilibrium. Let's see who we are revived as. Our cousin. Alright, Joseon's still with us. I think we still have the same army. We're ready to do this. Let's do it. A distant cousin. Getting ghosted after getting pregnant. Not a good fate. Ooh. I don't think his wife would care in this case. Well, let's see what happens. The scholar is obstructing the law. He says it's wrong for me to beat this thief I caught red-handed. The corrupt setting has given this man poor moral character. A good leader will root out the cause of this society's ill. Right, arguing for why he's stealing. I mean, it's true, but depends on how you apply it. Yeah, let's go back to equilibrium. Alright, so we still drink, but we lower people. Share a horse. We run into someone. We killed someone. We killed a bandit. We hide it. The horse judges us. A good winemaker. Alright, let's try to make this wine. Right, good wine, you say? The widow in town makes it. The Thai mountain range for training drills. It's gonna go up too high. Alright, how much would you like to buy? Could you teach us? Right. Start making it in spring. Add the rice. Let it ferment. Then repeat the process 8 times for filtering the wine. Sure. And then we just have to do it, right? The 9-batch spring fermentation. Alright, I'm on it. New event. I guess we have to make the wine. It's spring. Okay, good to know. Let's pick a bear. For meeting his advisor. Which emperor is this? I mean, the snake one has the swords from the founding emperor. I'm sick of being pushed around by bullies. Let's drop it. The greatest innovation of the century. We're in what? Okay. Gunpowder it is. It is not an invention of the century. It got improved in the Eastern Han. The quality of paper and the cost of making it went down. But it was not readily available at this time. Even with the decreased cost and the improved quality, it was still very rare to use. It was expensive, basically. Yeah, not affordable at this point. You're gonna have to wait until like the Tang and Song period to have readily available paper. We're just gonna drop it. I can't afford the supplies. My eldest daughter lives many miles away. I expect her to return and care for me when I'm old and frail. Daughter, huh? I mean, she's ready to be married out. It's not really reasonable even by Confucius standards. One must treat the dead as they treat the living. How does the one must treat the living as they treat the dead? That increased people? The capital. Alright, we're gonna try to just lower that. We're not leaving here yet. Buy a treat. That will cost supply. There we go. I have a riddle. Let's do it. Twin brothers, hungry like wolf, never leave the other side. Whenever there's food. Right, so I think they're saying chopstick, but I think your teeth, your up and lower teeth also is like a pair that never leaves. But that's fine too. Alright, just to drop it. None of my friends can afford to have babies. What, you live in the modern day? The cost of living is in the town is too high. Move to the countryside. Yeah, why a eunuch? That is true. Do we become a eunuch in this life? Let's try it. Oh, we discover once you're introduced to the knifer, we get castrated. There's brothels all over town. Why don't we legalize their trade so we can tax them? Well, first off, they are taxed and they are legal. So the concept here of them being illegal is wrong. But we could get more supplies this way. Alright, watch the skies. The mansion of the dragon neck collided with the head mansion. Droughts are coming to the Ji province. You can't just relocate people. Let's see if this lowers the people. How does forcing them to leave their home increase the people? EJ can't move, but not this year. Where are they? Alright, what happened? He took a bracelet. And tell me more. So he took it when no one's there. Right, you know, if you cut down a tree, does it still make a noise if no one's around to hear it? This can't possibly favor the people, can it? Yeah, but that's still stealing. It'll make you tough. Represents our general as a dog and his soldiers as fleas. Just interesting, but let's try not to get ourselves killed here. Young ladies from poor families don't want to study. They want to become rich courtesans. You must stop this. That's just not true. Even girls from rich family usually didn't study. It's very, very rare. Like, the father have to want their daughter to get educated, and the daughter also want to get learned for this to happen. I feel like... Oh, that does get us killed. Yeah, sometimes I don't know who the people represent, like the person that's talking to me or the actual peasants. And this time we get burned alive. 270 days, much shorter run. Solve the riddle, and that's about it. Oh no, we are experiencing a reincarnation. So much shorter run for our second life. We'll be coming back here to continue to jump back in time and try our luck with our third and fourth life next time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and see you all next time. Bye!